Poetry changes lives. Poetry and history and a thought for the day. In this book, this is the paperback. There's a hardcover version as well, you know. It's a very simple book, really, but there aren't many others like it. Just a little bit of knowledge about past history on this day, and a poem linked to it, and a thought for the day. I think it makes a very nice present to give people if you can't think of anything else to give your family. I often have great difficulty thinking of something to give a friend or a colleague, but this book, you know, people find very little to object in it, really. It's, you know, a poem a day, I find, just reading it, is a very benign, beneficial influence. It makes me feel somehow happier. I recommend it. Why don't you try it? Let me demonstrate. On this day, in 1931, the American writer, journalist, Tom Wolfe was born. I think he was a very great writer, actually. He excelled in his youth, both academically and at the sport of baseball. He nearly became a professional baseball player. We would have lost a great journalist. In his work, he favoured saturation reporting, as it's called, where the journalist spends huge amounts of time with the subject he's writing about. Tom Wolfe's masterpiece is probably the novel Bonfire of the Vanities, that he wrote as a weekly installment in Rolling Stone magazine, really copying what people like Charles Dickens and Thackeray had done in the century before. It's a very effective way, actually, of producing a book. The title of the book, Bonfire of the Vanities, of course, comes from events in the Italian city of Florence in the Renaissance in 1497. The stern monk Savonarola got people to burn their works of art that he thought were not sufficiently religiously motivated. Well, I'm going to read a poem by a modernist poet, Don Marquis, an American. It's called Unrest, and I think it would have resonated with Tom Wolfe. See what you think of this. A fierce unrest seethes at the core of all existing things. It was the eager wish to soar that gave the gods their wings. From what flat wastes of cosmic slime, and stung by what quick fire, sunward the restless races climb, men risen out of mire. There throbs through all the worlds that are this heartbeat hot and strong, and shaken systems, star by star, awake and glow in song. But for the urge of this unrest, these joyous spheres are mute. But for the rebel in his breast, had man remained a brute. It's got some imagery in that poem. It tells us very little about what the poet himself is actually feeling. I think, you know, I find it hard to criticize negatively any poem, really, because it always means something to the writer. It always has a power to affect somebody, if only the writer. And, you know, I think we should never really be too judgmental of anyone's poetry, because it always has a purpose that is helping somebody. For me, this kind of poetry is interesting without actually moving me. For me, the test of the sort of poetry I find great and enjoyable and memorable is the kind of poem that sends a shiver down your spine. Some of the works of the likes of William Butler Yeats, or people like Emily Bronte or Christina Rossetti. You know, some poems really, really move me. This one does not, though I think it is a competent piece of work that many people may enjoy for a number of reasons. There's so many different aspects to poetry. We should never, in my view, dismiss any work of art without thinking about it and taking something from it. Everything that we experience is, as Tennyson puts it, all experience is an arch where through gleams an untravelled world. I'm not sure what untravelled world gleams through the arch of enjoying this poem, but there is something that I can take from it. Today, I will practice mindfulness as a way of living, one day at a time, because the past cannot be changed and the future may never happen. Thank you for listening.